Welcome back, guys, to your WWE Smackdown live review for the 5th of the 9th, 2017, guys. And this Smackdown was a good show. Like I said, they're building up to Hell in a Cell. It looks like Smackdown are not having a pay-per-view this month. I thought they were gonna have one because don't they normally have one every month? Like a Raw would have a pay-per-view and then Smackdown would have one the same month. But it looks like now it's like Smackdown, like Raw's having a pay-per-view, obviously, Mercy, and obviously they're building up the feud to now for Hell in a Cell next month for SmackDown. So that's that. So anyway, SmackDown this week opened up really hot. It opened up with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon coming out with a promo. And these two guys right here really cut a good promo here. Like, yeah, Kevin Owens basically saying that Shane's trying to just get attention from Vince and trying to get his support and stuff like that. And KO said like, all of Shane's family will be happy if Shane did survive the helicopter crash and stuff like that, and he wasn't here. And then that pissed off Shane and talked about his kids, and then obviously they have a massive brawl. Daniel Bryan comes out, and then that's the end of that. Obviously, this is going to also lead to Hell in a Cell, where we're gonna have KO versus Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell, and obviously Shane's gonna jump off some shit because it's Shane McMahon, Hell in a Cell. Shane jumps off shit, so that's what it is. Then after that, we had Carmella versus Natalia. Now, this was an okay match here. Carmella loses by a roll up because James Ellsworth was distracting her. And then this gets kind of weird here. So, Carmella, cuts ties from James Ellsworth and says, I don't want nothing to do with you early on in the night. But later on in the night, we see them backstage where James Ellsworth and Carmella are back together as a thing, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, why would you take back your manager if he cost you, your match earlier and he's been doing all these mistakes previously? You wouldn't take them back. So this A doesn't make no sense, and B, why did I watch that in the first place to just see them back together later on in the show? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, whatever. Like, wouldn't you not have your manager or the person that was helping you for weeks and weeks and weeks, if they kept fucking up all the time, wouldn't you not just take them back, say, I'm sorry, let's start up fresh or whatever? But no, she takes him back like, okay, under my rules. But if I was Carmel, I just tell him to go and fuck off or something like that, and then just ditch that guy because James Ellsworth is just making her lose matches. So what the fuck? Does this help Carmella to this is supposed to legitimize her as Money in the Bank, Miss Money in the Bank, and if she's losing all these matches, and how is her credibility going to go up, with her losing these matches? So yeah, it doesn't make any sense anyway. So yeah, they also announced a few matches for next week's SmackDown. They had Natalia versus Naomi next week for the women's title. They had AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger next week for the US title. And after that, we had Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. That was the match for tonight. Baron Corbin gets the win here, and it looks like we're gonna have Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles for the US title at Hell in a Cell, which I think is gonna be a good match here. I know if you're like, oh, it's a devotion, he's going for the US title, but not really because he's feuding with AJ Styles. He was the Pro Wrestling Talk Superstar of the Year last year, and the MVP of the WWE last year. So I don't think that this is a demotion. This is a promotion. And this guy's got heat. I mean, people say that's a demotion based on AJ Styles. That's a promotion. Him in the US title picture is better than him being in the WWE title picture right now because he's feuding with AJ Styles, not Jinder Mahal. People, it's AJ Styles. Jinder Mahal is no AJ Styles. He cannot wrestle. He's not on an AJ Styles level, but you know what I mean. AJ Styles is holding US title. It's not somebody like Aiden English or Sami Zayn holding that belt. It's AJ Styles, a former WWE champion, holding that belt. Yes, I said belt on camera. Sorry, Vince. I know you're watching. I'm sorry, man. But anyway, after that, we have the Usos and the New Day, and the Usos say that next week the rematch for the tag titles is going to be a street fight, so that's going to be pretty cool, I guess. And then we have Daniel Bryan come back to the ring and he calls out Shane McMahon and he says that Vince has suspended him for basically Kevin Owens, for attacking Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens said earlier on in the show that he was going to have lawyers on WWE and Vince and stuff like that. And then later on in the night, Daniel Bryan announces that Vince is going to be on the show next week, so that's going to be pretty interesting there. Then we get to the main event and it's Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bobby Roode. But Bobby Roode, what the fuck? I mean, I was just thinking about Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. And before I get into that, why I was mentioning Bobby Roode just then, they did an awesome video package of Bobby Roode and how his quick rise from NXT to SmackDown Live. Thought that was really good. And speaking of Bobby Roode again, sorry to keep talking about this, but Dolph Ziggler, the guy that is irrelevant at this point, the guy that should leave WWE because nobody gives a fuck what Dolph Ziggler does right now. And I looked at this segment here with Dolph Ziggler and he comes out with all these different gimmicks. He's Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah, dig it. And he's acting like John Cena, Naomi, and all these other gimmicks and stuff like that. And he says that everybody takes him for granted and, you know, he's not a gimmick and whatever. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, what happened? What happened to Dolph Ziggler from a couple of years ago? I mean, wasn't it 4 years ago you was the world's heavyweight champion? And then 4 years later, you're irrelevant. I don't get it. I mean, this guy's stock has derailed so much that I do not care about nobody in the IWC or YWC gives a shit about Dolph Ziggler. Nobody. So at this point, if I was Dolph Ziggler, like I said in my 3-count video last week, if I was Dolph, next month when his contract is up, I will say, I'm not re-signing Vince and I want out of my contract. I don't want to re-sign with you anymore and I will leave WWE. And maybe if you want to wrestle Dolph somewhere, maybe New Japan, Ring of Honor, go around the world or even do your stand-up. But don't stay in WWE because this is not going to be good for anybody. It's not going to be good for you, not going to be good for the fans because we know that Dolph Ziggler can do a lot better than this. And if WWE are not going to push you any further than this, in the mid-card division, then that's saying that they want you out of the company. They want you gone. So, yeah, I would definitely not re-sign with WWE if I was Dolph Ziggler next month. But anyway, I think that they're going to have, obviously, Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler at Hell in a Cell, and Bobby Roode is going to win that feud, and that's going to be Dolph Ziggler's final feud with WWE, I think. And then we finally get to the main event, and it's Bobby Roode I said it again. Randy Orton. Stop talking about Bobby Roode. Randy Orton versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This was Randy Orton's best match he's had all year. And, you know what? If I'm Randy Orton, I've got to be, like happy right now because he's had one of his best matches of this year because Randy Orton's had the worst year ever, I think, in the wrestling business because he's had the worst feuds, he's had the worst matches on TV, he's been booked bad. I mean, just all around, just bad year for Randy Orton. And then he finally gets a good match with Shinsuke Nakamura. Him and Nakamura had really good chemistry together. We had a good Nakamura-Orton chant. And Nakamura wins with a Kinshasa. Nakamura will face Jinder Mahal at Hell in a Cell. And I've heard rumors that Randy Orton's going to Raw. If he's going to Raw, then the one guy I want to see on SmackDown is Samoa Joe when he comes back. So maybe Samoa Joe, AJ Styles possibly we can see. Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode. You know, they feuded in TNA for a bit. Yeah, I think that if you want to trade one guy from the Raw brand to SmackDown to swap with Randy Orton, then I would put obviously Randy on SmackDown and Samoa Joe to go to SmackDown because if you put Samoa Joe on SmackDown, then at least he'll be still in the main event scene on SmackDown and maybe he can feud with Nakamura when he wins the belt at Hell in a Cell. Who knows? But that's why I think that they should go there because on Raw I know that he's not going to get that Universal title anytime soon. But yeah. And that's it for my WWE SmackDown Live review, guys. What do you guys think of the show? I thought it was a good show. The Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon segment stuff was really good. Nakamura versus Randy Orton was really good. And yeah, real good show here. So what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts down below. And I'll check you later.